Tom had always been fascinated by history, so when he discovered a time machine in his grandfather's old laboratory, he couldn't resist the temptation to try it out. He punched in a random year, 1780, and stepped into the machine, eager to explore the past. But something went wrong. The machine shook violently, and when Tom emerged, he found himself in a dense forest with no sign of the time machine. He looked around, disoriented and confused, and realized that he had been transported to a distant past, with no way back. Tom had never felt so alone. He was stranded in a world he barely understood, with no friends, no family, and no knowledge of the language or customs of the time. He wandered through the forest, hoping to find some sign of civilization, but all he found was a small village, with thatched roof huts and people dressed in rough clothing. At first, Tom tried to blend in, but it was clear that he was an outsider. The villagers eyed him with suspicion, and he struggled to communicate with them. He tried to explain where he was from and how he had arrived, but they simply stared at him in confusion. Tom was forced to adapt quickly. He learned how to build fires, hunt for food, and make his own shelter. He also began to pick up the language, slowly but surely, and started to understand the customs and beliefs of the villagers. He was amazed by their ingenuity and resourcefulness, and began to appreciate the simple pleasures of life in a world without technology. But as time went on, Tom began to feel increasingly lonely. He missed his family and friends, and longed to return to his own time. He scoured the forest, searching for the time machine, but it was nowhere to be found. He felt trapped, like a prisoner in a distant past. One day, as he was walking through the forest, Tom stumbled upon a group of travelers who were passing through the area. They were dressed in fine clothing and spoke a language that Tom barely understood. But as he listened to their conversation, he realized with a shock that they were discussing the very same time machine that he had been searching for. Tom approached the travelers, and through a series of gestures and broken phrases, managed to explain his situation. They were amazed by his story and agreed to help him find the time machine. Together, they searched the forest, and after many hours they found it, hidden deep in a grove of trees. Tom was overjoyed. He climbed into the machine, set the dial F,